So Donald Trump was elected president, and now Republicans control the Senate, the House of Representatives, 33 out of 50 governorships, and 32 state legislatures. So while Republicans control our government basically at every level, the Democrats have a shot to fight back in 2 years, right? Wrong! That's because Republicans enjoy a series of structural advantages in our system. For example, Hillary Clinton earned almost 3 million more votes than Donald Trump. But she isn't president because of the Electoral College. The U.S. isn't shifting towards conservatism. Republicans are just far, far better at rigging the system to remain in power. One of the main ways they do this is gerrymandering.
Gerrymandering is the art of drawing political district lines to give your side an advantage. It is legal, and it goes back to the dawn of America.
That's David Daley. He wrote this book.
We are the only democracy in the world that allows politicians to choose their own voters.
Look at this strange shape. You won't find this in a geometry textbook, but you will find it in North Carolina's 4th District. Gerrymandering has been around forever. But in 2010, we saw
gerrymandering on steroids. What the Republicans do in 2010 is use gerrymandering as a blunt force, a partisan weapon, in order to govern from the minority.
Here's what happened. Republicans devised something called Red Map, which had 2 parts. First, they targeted traditionally swing state legislatures and convinced national donors to pour money into those races.
Well, we raised $30 million.
That's Chris Jankowski. He came up with Red Map, and it worked.
We had an election where we set a record for any political party in history in the net gain of state legislative seats, over 700.
Part 2 is where things get really clever. Every 10 years, the United States has a census. And after each census, we redraw the voting district lines. The key here is that those who control state legislatures and governorships oversee the mapping and can manipulate it for political gain.
Red Map is the biggest political heist of the century. And they come out of 2010 with control of 2/3 of all of the legislative chambers in America.
And so the map drawing began. And this wasn't your grandpappy's gerrymandering.
The biggest change has been technology. This data is being reduced to something that can be manipulated on an iPad.
Using a program called Maptitude, Republican strategists adjusted district lines street by street based on voting records and demographics and even magazine subscriptions. And it worked brilliantly. In 2012, the Democrats racked up 1.4 million more votes nationally for the House of Representatives. Yet the Republicans held a strong majority of seats. Since then, Republicans have ruled Congress from a minority. And as politicians come from more and more secure local bases, they don't need to compromise. In fact, as we've seen with the rise of the Tea Party and the Freedom Caucus, compromise is seen as a weakness. Republicans literally shut down the government.
We have made these districts more extreme. We've made our politics more extreme. We've made it impossible for anything to get done. And when nobody can get anything done, it leads to anger, and that anger gets easily appropriated by a strongman. That's Donald Trump.
So there you go. Republicans have used things like gerrymandering and voter ID laws to take over nearly every aspect of American politics. Now they get to rule even though they get fewer votes. Meanwhile, the Democrats can only kick themselves for not effectively exploiting the system to remain in power when they had the chance. I mean, they could have done things like automatic voter registration. At this point, the Republicans have gerrymandered so well that no matter what happens in the next 2 years, they're likely to maintain their majority in the House of Representatives in 2018. Don't worry, the Democrats still have the redistricting of 2031 to look forward to.